Hey, vinyl community, Jeff here. I am back with some more new releases. These actually just came in the mail earlier today, so I wanted to give these a quick show. These were pre-orders from a few months ago, and they have arrived finally. So let's get into this and show some of these new reissues. Most of these are these first three, first time on vinyl. This is Ty Tabor's Safety album. Ty Tabor, of course, guitar player, vocalist for King's X. This is his third solo album. It came out back in 2002. This is the first time on vinyl. But, you know, it's great to have it on vinyl. I really enjoyed his first two albums. The second album was released on vinyl, like last year or so? Maybe one day the first album will come out. That was more of an independent release, I believe. It was later reissued. And then he's done quite a few since then, so hopefully they'll continue. His most recent album came out like last year or so, and I did have that on vinyl, but there's some other ones in there that did not. So anyway, it's kind of what you would expect from Ty Tabor. It's a little more of the his flavor, the King's X side. But, you know, just kind of a straightforward rock and roll, guitar-driven rock and roll with his sound. Now, this one originally was released on Metal Blade Records, and so Brutal Planet has gotten the rights to reissue a lot of these old Metal Blade albums, which is what all of these are. And so this is the batch that came out from that, and so we've been seeing some of these Metal Blade releases come out. That one is there, as it says here, on vinyl for the first time. It is on. It's got the upside down insert with lyrics and some credits there. No other real pictures, and it is on red, translucent red. So yes, great stuff. And in related news, the other side of King's X, we got we got Doug Pinnick's Poundhound. So when he did solo stuff in the very beginning, the first album, Poundhound, which came out earlier this year, really it was technically at the end of the year, but it was a 2022 dated release. But so his first Poundhound album came out on vinyl for the first time earlier this year, and this is the second one, Pineappleskunk. And so the then he started doing albums under his name, under various variations of his spellings of his name. But these first two were under the moniker of Poundhound. So this is summing up the Poundhound history by having the second one here now on vinyl. Let's see what it says here. Solo album from Doug Pinnick, heavyweight pineapple yellow. This is the hype sticker. And like they said, it is on pineapple yellow. Translucent yellow. Has the insert with credits. Crazy picture on the back there. So yes, now if you're again, if you're a big fan of King's X, I mean, you've got Doug's vocal styles, but his musically, you know, he goes all over the place. So you're not going to get necessarily the King's X sound, but of course you're going to have reminiscent sounds of that, just because it's got Doug on it and his bass and everything. Same with Ty. You're going to hear that, but they do stray from what you would find as the typical King's X sound. So it makes it more unique. And look at that album. It's got a lot of songs on there. But yeah, there are a lot of short songs on here too. What is there? 16 songs. Anyway, great stuff. Great stuff. And then, in my opinion, one of the best. Well, I mean, not that I don't. These are like my thoughts. These are kind of like the brothers of King's X. Similar town, similar record label, similar producing in the beginning, and of course these went on Metal Blade 2. This is Galactic Cowboys. Now the Galactic Cowboys had two albums out on the Geffen label that King's X had also, you know, been working with. They're the same producers and everything. They were in Geffen. They put out two albums. This is their third album, 1996. The reason, of course, that this one is where they started is, of course, because this one was when they switched over to Metal Blade. And so this is the first Metal Blade album, third Galactic Cowboys album. It is a double record set. It's got bonus tracks, which is nice. The album itself, you know, takes up three sides, but then they've got, you know, a live track, some other stuff on here, cover of Junior's Farm and stuff. They had an EP that came out around the same time with a lot of that stuff on it. So it is really good to have this. It is just, if you're not familiar with Galactic Cowboys, just go online and check them out. Look at some of the Machine Fish stuff. They're pretty aggressively heavy, but very melodic in the same way. They're kind of like aggressive melodic. I don't know how to describe them. Very groove oriented. Lots and lots of just great music. I think all their albums are great, but in my opinion, their first like 3 albums, which is this one included, really, 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 really stick out in my mind. As you know, just those days were great. They're both on blue, translucent, 2 record set. So yeah, I mean, and of course these are going to be fairly limited in their pressing, so you're going to want to grab these. But just absolutely, in my opinion, everything Galactic Cowboys and King's X is worth grabbing, and so that's why I did. These next 2 are CDs. These are from our buddies over at Eonian Records. I've talked about them quite a bit in the past. They go out and they find bands from the 80s and 90s that either, you know, had custom releases or, you know, just had demos, but they were high quality, but never really saw the light of day, or, you know, has been years since they've been reissued. And just some of the stuff I've got pretty much all their stuff except a couple from a couple years ago, but everything is top notch. But the last couple from this past year, there have been a couple in there that have just been stellar. And it's just the amount of great hair, sleaze, glam, whatever you want to call that metal era, the stuff that has come out that we never heard about, that never really broke it or made it, you know, that's the kind of stuff that is just in my sweet spot. Some really great stuff. And so some of these, like I say, had come out maybe on previous more independent release CDs, but never really big. These particular ones are not so much, you know, what you would call the hair metal of the 80s. It's definitely got a little bit more of that early 90s to mid 90s, which is when these came out, actually. So think, you know, Skid Row, Guns N' Roses type stuff, and not, you know, Poison, Rat type things like that. But The Kill, Wake the Dead. Now this one, I was looking on Discogs. I'm not seeing where necessarily this had been done before, but it appears to have a 8 song recording, and then it's got 2 songs from another recording. So the first 8 are from 94, the second 2 are from a session in 95, and then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 from 95 in a different session that came out. So, but you know, and these are, you know, brought back out and freshened up, and they sound great. They're not like bootleggy demos at all. It's always high quality stuff. So I've listened to a little bit of this one. I've listened to a lot of this one. This is Misery with, what was it called here? Misery Loves Company. Now, this was released by the band on cassette only, as far as I can tell, in 1991. So this would be the CD reissue. And these are, you know, silver CDs. They're not like, you know, CDRs or anything. And they come with booklets and all of that stuff. Pictures and a story. And all their releases are, in my opinion, you know, just top-notch reissues of some amazing stuff. And, you know, this band is, it's just great stuff. You got to check this out. And there's videos online for this stuff. Eonian Records has got a YouTube channel, and they put out samples of this stuff. And they have world premiere videos by these bands that have come out in the past week or so. And these are the 2 newest releases. And they've got some other ones that I've already pre-ordered and some other things that are on the horizon. And all I know is I have learned to trust pretty much anything that these guys have put out. There are other labels that do the hair metal and the sleaze metal. There are a lot of them out there, and there are a lot of great stuff. I've talked about them before. There's a lot of great labels like that. I mean, to the point where it's hard to keep up. But one thing I've found, everything I've ever bought from Eonian Records has been top-notch, and I've never had a complaint, never had a problem. Looking forward to a new thing they've got coming out for that New York band Fury. Anyway, one of their... just a major thing coming up. But these 2 in the interim, great stuff. Check them out online. That's all for now. Just some new stuff that came in. I have a few more things on the horizon that's coming in from pre-orders also. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching. Rock on and rock hard.